So we have just made it to our hotel in Reykjavik. I'll show you the view we have from our room. Tell you what, they know how to make good food here in Reykjavik. We've just wandered out into the streets of Reykjavik just to see if we can find anything worth looking at. So we have found its sign, and there's a football pitch over there, so we're going to investigate. There's virtually a private airport just out there, so we can hear a lot of planes and see a lot of planes come in. I think it's just a private one, so like commercial flights don't go there. But yeah, we've just seen some little aircraft come in. We saw two after the other about 10 minutes ago, but we've not seen any since. Come to the conclusion that all Icelandic people are nice and helpful. Right, so that football club, we met a man there, and there was a handball match also going on. Apparently, that's played a lot in Iceland, but yeah, there was a handball match which his son was playing in, going on there, and he says that football team also have a handball team and a basketball team as well, and the handball team is apparently one of the best, like for its level, like I think it's like under 17s, like under 18s, I presume. He said it was one of the best in Europe at its level, and that's right, John. And apparently they go and play tournaments from around the world, and they have lots of like seats there, so it's like a proper handball pitch and like the spectators. Whilst we were there, they were playing a practice match against another. I presume they just split the club into two, and had two teams like you would do in training. And they were playing a match, and they looked really, really good. Like I've only watched handball once on the Olympics, and they seemed like they were like the Olympic standard when I watched it. I get the impression that most Icelandic people like praise Gylfi Sigurdsson here, because we asked him, do any of the players from that club play for the national team that beat England, obviously? And he was like, yes, 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 Iceland's best player plays at Everton, so I knew instantly that it would be Gylfi Sigurdsson, because he is the best Icelandic player. Just a bit of Icelandic football for you. That team is called Valor, right? And the Icelandic League runs from May to October, I think it might be. I'm guessing that, because he said there were 5 matches left of the season, so I'm guessing it ends either at the end of September or the start of October. I don't know how often they play their games, but getting into it, that's Valor, right? So far, it is actually winning the Icelandic League. The top division, it's currently winning with 5 games left, which is quite cool. He said there were 5 divisions in Iceland. I don't know how many there are in England, but there's 4 main ones, effectively. The Premier League, Championship, League 1 and League 2, and then they call it non-league football. But he said there's 5 in the whole of Iceland, and it's quite cool, actually, because in Iceland, whoever wins the league gets a first round qualifying spot for the Champions League, and whoever comes second gets the first round qualifying spot for the Europa League. So that team, they've won the league twice before, and so they've had the opportunity to qualify for the Champions League, but they've lost the first round on both occasions. So I don't know how it's done in Iceland, because if their season finishes in like end of September time, then but the Champions League qualifying normally starts in like August or like end of July. So they must do it from the season before. I presume that stadium, it hosts roughly 1,500. So it just shows how small their league is compared to ours, because they're winning the top league, yet their stadium is smaller than like National League stadiums in England. So it's quite weird. that's why most Icelandic people do not play in that league, because it's frankly looks a bit rubbish. I mean, it's good that that team are doing what they're doing there, but that's why like you get them playing in other leagues, not the Icelandic league. Yeah, basically. Oh, I should really stop talking for ages. Some people get bored when I go on for a long time. I will see you all tomorrow. So we had to wake up at 6 o'clock for a very, very, very early start. Then we're just going to go down to breakfast. So we are now on a minibus that should take us to a volcano. We've just been briefed and are now walking to the volcano. So we've been asked to put on these luminous yellow jackets. Don't think taking pictures does that place any justice, because it was absolutely amazing. I'm amazed at how many different colours of rock you can get in one place. It was very, very good there. So we're now going to go to this place in it, and then we're going to have to walk back down to the road, because its place is quite a long way away from any kind of civilization. Right, so there's the first like crater there's the second one, and you can't make it out, but I can just in real life. We are currently 600 meters above ground, and it is very, very hot. Cold here, hence why it's called Iceland. But they did say it was 20 degrees the day before we came, which is unusual. I was speaking to a man and he said, it's very hot here in March and April, it's 6 degrees, and I'm like, that's not hot. So if you think we have it harder living in England with all the rain, think about Iceland and how the people there must suffer. They celebrate when it's 20 degrees. You probably can't hear what I'm saying, but I'm back wearing my luminous, awesome, bright yellow jacket. We have to wear these just in case we get water on us, so it's like protective wear. And also it's bright, so you can't lose anyone, and you know where anyone is at all times. I'll probably have to put subtitles over this bit because of the wind. This walk and there and back, it's about 40 minutes. Depends how fast you walk, really. And it's because there's no roads that lead directly to the volcano. So they cooked us some soup there, and they said if they want to get ingredients, they can't just drive in the back of their car. They have to either get them dropped in by a helicopter, or they have to do this walk themselves with them in their backpack. I just can't believe how windy it is and how cloudy it is. We're only 600 metres above ground, because when we climbed up Snowdon, we only started getting into clouds at about 1,000 metres. So yeah, it is actually really, really cold. So I should put my phone away, because my hands are freezing and they're about to start going blue probably, because I can't wear gloves when I'm holding like the phone. It was interesting to see a man propose to a woman down in the volcano. I think the volcanoes here are better than in Lanzarote, because I'll leave a link to the playlist. I think it's the third video where we saw the volcanoes there. The landscape was very desolate. It looked like you were on another planet, like in Lanzarote. Also, so far, in Lanzarote we did this game. You had to try and find a car with a registration plate not from Spain. It's an island, so my dad thought he could find one, but he didn't. So I'm looking out here. All the cars I've seen so far have an Icelandic registration plate, but you never know. Cars could come in on a ship from like Greenland or something, I don't know. But I'll be on the lookout for a car that hasn't got an Icelandic registration plate. Also, if you haven't noticed, I'm downloading new music for this set of vlogs, because all the music I had, I'm just getting bored of it because I've used it several times. So all music now will be new and what you've not heard before on my channel, because I downloaded loads of music ages ago, and I think I'm probably going to download some more. Also, some people might think it's a bit odd coming to Iceland in the summer, because it's like everybody wants a summer holiday, but we've come to like a colder place. I wouldn't like to say it's like Eskimo living temperature, because it's not. People would assume that, but it's not. So we went to the Isle of Wight, and that was hot. So we have a summer hot holiday as well. And we did go to Lanzarote, of course, in May. So we have been on hot holidays, just if you were wondering. Right, we are now going there to see what it's all about. Right, so we are currently walking down the hill, which I will not attempt to pronounce. It begins with O, because you can't pronounce anything in Icelandic. It's just too difficult. So we're walking down the hill from the Perlan place back there. That was an interesting building. It was kind of like, it was a museum on glaciers. There was a cafe, there was a 360 viewing gallery, and there was also an ice cave. So a nice mix of places. Hopefully this path will lead us down to a thermal beach. Please don't ask me what one of those is, because I do not know. You'll find out in this vlog if we get to it, hopefully. Because we don't know that this is the right path. We're just kind of walking down in the right direction, hoping we'll find it. So carry on watching this vlog to see what a thermal beach is. I mean, Reykjavik is a really nice place. I love how it's spread out, like London's so cramped together. I feel like this place is more spread out, because in Iceland, if 220,000 people live in the capital, they've got the whole rest of the country where only 110,000 people live. So they can be spread out, unlike Britain. But I love the red roofs on the building. I think it looks very Scandinavian. It looks really nice. And the building design, it looks good. It looks good. It's definitely different to what you would get in a mainland Europe. I suppose the design of houses is a bit like Greenland as well. Not that I've ever been there, but I've seen pictures. Yeah, so this is a thermal beach. Don't exactly know why it's thermal. I think there's a hot tub there. And I think if the tide's in, it will surround the hot tub. There's showers down there. I just don't think it's open today. But this is a thermal beach, everyone. I have succeeded in my challenge I told you about earlier. I said my challenge was to find a foreign car. I've just seen a car from Germany drive past. It's the first one I've seen, and I have been looking out. Would have taken a picture of it, but it was driving quite fast, so you know. Right, so it's now raining a lot. Don't know how much you can see, and we're walking home back to our hotel. When we get back, I think we'll go in the spa because we're all wet. Right, so we've just been to the spa. It's very nice. The hot tub was 41 degrees Celsius, which is very, very hot. You couldn't sit in it for about a minute without just feeling really, really drowsy. Anyway, and the pool was really warm as well. It wasn't cold. I like being cold so you can cool down once being like the hot tub and the steam room. But it's a very nice one. I mean, they don't have to pay for heating fees in Iceland because the underground's so hot. So I suppose, yeah, that's why it's so hot. Right, so I think I'm going to say that's the end of this vlog now. I will see you in part 2. We don't know what we're doing tomorrow, but we might go on a sightseeing bus around in Reykjavik, because we've not got any excursions booked for tomorrow. We've got one booked for Sunday around the Golden Circle, which should be quite cool. But we don't know for definite. That's just what we are thinking of doing. So thank you for watching this vlog. It's probably going to be quite long. It depends how I edit it. Because I've got an awful lot of footage just from 2 days. So yeah, I will see you all in the next video.